One of the most brutally efficient licensing strategies ever crafted to exploit our most primal emotions, all in the service of profit. But at its core, a brand so bright, so colorful, and so full of passion for connection, community, and empathy. Hey, maybe the machine of capitalism ain't so bad after all. Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is the history of the Care Bears. Care Bears is a multimedia franchise that debuted in 1983, born from a collaboration between greeting card manufacturer American Greetings and toy producer Kenner Toys that built on the success of Strawberry Shortcake and Holly Hobbie before. Care Bears proved you can kill not only with kindness, but love, friendship, luck, birthdays, napping, wishes. In 1980, Kenner Toys and American Greetings were collaborating on one of the most popular toys on the market, Strawberry Shortcake. Created by American Greetings as a character featured on their greeting cards, Strawberry Shortcake broke out as a licensed character for hire across all sorts of products like stickers, clothing, bedsheets, storybooks, puzzles, stationery, games, clocks, and lunchboxes. She wasn't the first character to find success in licensing. Heck, she wasn't even the first for American Greetings, who had previously had success with Holly Hobbie. But she was unique in that her rise in popularity wasn't based on any previously existing media. Thank you to 80stees.com for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description below and use code TOYGALAXY to get 30% off your order today. What's the first thing that pops into your head when I say the 1980s or the 1990s? Don't think about it, just say it. 1, 2, 3. Rubik's Cube. Yes, they have that, or they had that, or they will have that. 80stees.com is constantly refreshing their inventory with officially licensed t-shirts featuring characters, quotes, and logos from cartoons, comics, TV shows, movies, wrestling, and music from the 1970s through the 2000s. So while I can't guarantee that everything you can think of will be in stock, I can guarantee that you'll always be surprised by the range of their selection. 80stees.com has something for everyone. Your favorite heroes like Batman, Spider-Man, Mega Man, Deadpool, and Wolverine, Voltron, both Lion and Vehicle, Star Wars, Stargate, old and older Battlestar Galactica, Motley Crue, Biz Markie, Pink Floyd, and Jimi Hendrix. Find the shirt that's right for you, the one that speaks to your interests, and lets the world know that there's no bigger fan of scratch and sniff stickers, Spam, or Kellogg's Fruit Loops than you. And you can prove it because you're wearing the shirt. Click the link below and use code TOYGALAXY for 30% off your order today. Again, that's code TOYGALAXY for 30% off your order. And thanks again to 80stees.com. Strawberry Shortcake was created in-house by artists working for American Greetings. Her popularity not only allowed her to cross over into general licensing, but motivated American Greetings to spin off their in-house character creation team as a standalone company called Those Characters from Cleveland, or TCFC.
Fun times in Cleveland today, Cleveland!
In late 1980, Kenner reached out to TCFC with a new challenge. Strawberry Shortcake was cooking. Kenner had the action figure market locked up with Star Wars, and now they wanted to expand into the plush market. Furthermore, Kenner wanted to exploit the 40% of the market that was dominated by teddy bears. TCFC got right to work trying to figure out how the heck you reinvent teddy bears. A doll, a toy that has been around since 1903. How do you create something unique from something so classic and universally beloved? And how can you trademark it and license it for all sorts of products like stickers, clothing, bedsheets, storybooks, puzzles, stationery, games, clocks, and lunchboxes? TCFC were struggling to come up with anything until fate intervened. At the time, TCFC had a young artist named Dave Poulter who was developing a series of greeting cards themed around basic symbols used to convey emotions, things like hearts and rainbows. That line of greeting cards stalled because, according to TCFC co-president Ralph Schaefer, you need a lot of designs to launch a new line of greeting cards, and ultimately, they just couldn't think of any more symbols. Hard to blame them, even Lucky Charms was tapped out after pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, green clovers, and blue diamonds. Meanwhile, TCFC reached out to a freelance artist named Ilana Kucherik, who had previously been a designer and artist on staff at American Greetings. They asked her to do some conceptual drawings of teddy bears that could potentially be developed into a new licensed character. It wasn't until Schaefer had both the symbol art from Poulter and the teddy bear concept art from Kucherik that it clicked. As he put it in a 2017 interview in Cleveland magazine, quote, "I'm sitting here looking at a simple pencil sketch of a bear and thinking, what in the hell am I going to do with the bears? Something in my head just took those graphics and flopped them over on the bear's stomach. I drew that heart on that bear. Boom, the clouds opened up and the sun shined." The simple symbols clearly communicated everything a parent or child needed to know about the bears and their mission. Strawberry Shortcake artist Muriel Farian helped refine the designs for the bears' bellies, while her sister Strawberry Shortcake doll designer Susan Trentel worked on the plush dolls. Trentel, along with 4 additional designers, was able to translate the sketches into an actual plush doll after hundreds of prototypes. The final design was fitted with a heart-shaped button on its rear end as an homage to Steiff teddy bears. Steiff, one of the most popular brands of teddy bears around the world, tagged each bear they created with a metal pin as a way of deterring counterfeit merchandise. TCFC's new bear design was so unique they were actually able to acquire a patent for it, specifically the application of the symbols to the bears' stomachs, something no one had attempted before. All they needed now was a name. According to Schaefer, they tried everything from tubbies to messenger bears. Lynn Edwards suggested Care Bears, and once again, it was as though fate had shown them the way. Names for individual bears evolved from general concepts like Love Bear to more legally trademarkable names like Tenderheart Bear. In February of 1981, TCFC had a private meeting with representatives from Kenner and American Greetings to introduce them to the Care Bears. According to TCFC co-president Jack Chanosky, the response was a lot of, quote, "Ah," as in, and I'm paraphrasing here, "Ah, I get it, we're going to make a lot of money off of these bears." Once Kenner and American Greetings signed off on the concept, Elena Kucharik and other TCFC artists cranked out official art. All the images needed for marketing, storybooks, and packaging, while new characters were created to fill out the roster of bears and villains. The original roster included 10 bears covering a diversity of emotions or, events. Tenderheart Bear, Cheer Bear, Friend Bear, Funshine Bear, Birthday Bear, Good Luck Bear, Love a Lot Bear, Wish Bear, Bedtime Bear, and just to show that they had a sense of humor, Grumpy Bear to balance out all the saccharine sweetness.
Giving a Care Bear is a whole new way of sharing your feeling.
Come to Tenderheart Bear. Grandma's so proud.
Because a Care Bear's tummy shows just what you're feeling in your heart.
Friend Bear?
You're my best friend, Mom.
Make any day really special for someone you care about.
Bedtime Bear. I miss you, Daddy.
Give a soft, cuddly Care Bear and share your special feelings today. Each sold separately.
Executives from TCFC, Kenner, and American Greetings spent the next 2 years developing a precision marketing rollout that bypassed the traditional process of introducing a character to licensees. See, in the past, a character became popular through exposure in various media, and the response to it was to exploit it through licensing. The demand from the public set the pace for the supply. In this case, TCFC and American Greetings had already set the standard with Strawberry Shortcake, so it was only a matter of showing licensees what the next big thing was going to be. In September of 1982, a private meeting was held for investors who immediately started writing checks to get production started on all of these stickers, clothing, bed sheets, storybooks, puzzles, stationery, games, clocks, and lunchboxes. As Schaefer put it, quote, "We didn't just build a character, we approached it like a D-Day invasion. We lined everybody up to license the thing at the same time. It took us 2 years in development to get to that launch date." The Care Bears arrived in February of 1983 at New York Toy Fair and were on shelves in March. A live-action stage show on Broadway that cost $1 million to produce featured Strawberry Shortcake herself introducing the Care Bears to the world. The Care Bears official launch saw 26 different licensees hit the market at the same time with anywhere from 10 to 10,000 products. Kenner's toys were backed by an advertising budget of over $5 million. According to Schaefer, they launched in March because, quote, "We knew Easter is a good time for stuffed toys. We couldn't keep them on the shelves. We also did 16 running feet of Care Bears cards in the stores. In the first year, we sold $40 million worth of greeting cards." The Care Bears invasion included a half-hour animated special that aired on April 22, 1983 in syndication around the country, produced by Atkinson Film Arts. The Care Bears in the Land Without Feelings introduced viewers to the Care Bears, their home in the clouds, Care-a-Lot, as well as its caretaker, Cloudkeeper. Along with the villainous Professor Coldheart and the Care Bears' signature finishing move, the Care Bear Stare, where they blast you into submission with good vibes until either or both parties collapse from exhaustion. Something that did not happen to consumers.
I warned you, I tell her! I warned you!
What could have been an isolated fad was still on its way up by Christmas 1983. That was followed by a second half-hour special in April of 1984. The Care Bears Battle the Freeze Machine, once again produced by Atkinson Film Arts, expanded the roster of Care Bears. New characters introduced to lore included Graham's Bear and Baby Hugs and Tugs, suggesting that Care Bears could not only grow up, but they could grow old and, one must assume, die.
This is fucking raw!
In 1985, American Greetings delivered one of the longest gestating pieces of their original marketing rollout, a feature film that had been in development with Nirvana hit theaters in March of 1985. The Care Bears find themselves in the forest of feelings where they meet the Care Bear cousins, 10 brand new non-bear animal characters, an exciting expansion of the mythology, and more importantly, new characters that could be licensed out to extend the brand another 2 or 3 years. The Care Bears movie made $34 million worldwide against a budget of just $2 million. It set a US record for biggest non-Disney animated film and established a template for how to refresh a toy roster with a feature film. We'll come back to that. Reviews were mixed, as they had been for the franchise since it began. While the message on the surface was always one of caring, sharing, and love, it was also transparently, intentionally, a big-budget extended commercial for all of the licensed products that were being sold everywhere a parent took their kids. Advocacy groups who had been fighting against the commercialization of children's television, criticizing producers and networks for their lack of emotional or educational value in their programming, accused the Care Bears movie of pushing that same disregard for children to the next level. According to Peggy Charon, the president of Action for Children's Television, Care Bears' biggest crime as a brand was that it was created explicitly to be licensed for profit, and therefore the message ultimately didn't matter. In a 1985 interview, when asked to compare the Care Bears to another popular licensed character like Snoopy from the comic strip Peanuts, she said, quote, "The Snoopy shows came from the Snoopy comic strips. They started out as a communication related to an idea, not to a product. But when a manufacturer dreams up a concept in order to sell a product, then we call that a commercial." The mass of products on store shelves resulted in an inescapable market saturation. Every product was essentially a tool to promote every other product. Kids weren't going to stop at a doll. They were going to want the doll, the pajamas, stickers, clothing, bedsheets, storybooks, puzzles, stationary games, clocks, and lunchboxes. The Care Bears movie was immediately followed by a new animated series called The Care Bears in September of 1985, produced by Deke Entertainment, that ran 11 episodes through November. In March of 1986, a second Care Bears movie hit theaters, once again produced by Nelvana. The Care Bears movie 2, A New Generation, was panned by critics for being even more transparent in its attempt to refresh the toy line and hawk various tie-in products. It cost more to make than the first film, but made less than half the original in ticket sales, a sign that perhaps the audience was ready to move on. Or maybe not. Maybe kids and parents just didn't like that movie because Nelvana also produced a new animated series called The Care Bears Family that ran 49 episodes over 3 seasons from September of 1986 through December of 1988, and a third theatrical film, The Care Bears Adventures in Wonderland, released in August of 1987, allowing the Care Bears to maintain presence on retail shelves and in the hearts and wallets of parents and kids everywhere. Care Bears returned in 1991 with an environmental theme that was not well received. They came back again in 2004, 2005, and then 2007 for the 25th anniversary with completely redesigned bears, a new television series, and a direct-to-home video film called Care Bears Oopsie Does It. The 30th anniversary in 2012 included a new television series called Care Bears Welcome to Care-a-Lot, which ran 1 season of 26 episodes on The Hub. It was then picked up and extended by Netflix as Care Bears and Cousins for 12 more episodes. In 2019, just after the 35th anniversary of the franchise, TCFC, now known as Cloudco Entertainment, once again overhauled the franchise. The visual aesthetic was given a modern update and their mythology refreshed to provide a new base for storytelling that continues through today. The Care Bears were one of the most popular and profitable franchises of the 1980s. Between 1983 and 1987, the Care Bears sold over 70 million cards for American Greetings and over 40 million dolls for Kenner. 45 million books were published. They raked in over $2 billion in total sales. That is how you reinvent the teddy bear. There's no way TCFC could have known in 1981 that their new licensed characters would, just a few years later, result in the death of the Transformers Optimus Prime. Because it was the success of the Care Bears movie in 1985 that convinced Hasbro to move ahead with a slate of their own toy-inspired movies starting in 1986. Transformers famously attempted to refresh their line by killing off nearly all of the original characters, carving trauma deep into the hearts of 10-year-olds around the world. G.I. Joe followed in 1987, opting to go straight to television and flinch on killing Duke. It's okay, he's just in a coma. The My Little Pony movie bombed, causing the Gem movie to be canceled before it even got rolling. Hasbro lost nearly $10 million 1986 dollars across the 4 movies, or nearly $30 million in 2024 dollars. The Care Bears were part of a deregulated era that blurred the line between commerce and entertainment for an entire generation of kids, their true motivation disguised with pastel-colored plush and an assurance that they mean you no harm. But don't blame them, they were created with good intentions and a real desire to help kids appreciate the power of kindness, friendship, diversity, inclusivity, and love. Something kids need today and into the future. A message, a mission for the Care Bears. sitting here going, did I write an end slate? Pretty sure I did. We'll find out in a second here. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, hit subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Thank you very much to those of you who already are. If you're in the position to help the channel grow, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/toygalaxy. Several different tiers to address your specific Secret Galaxy content needs. Check out our new Secret Galaxy merch shop at secretgalaxy.shop. All merchandise is physically in stock and ready to ship. Links to all of this in the description below. And let us know in the comments down below if you had a Care Bear back in the 80s or if you picked up one of the reboot versions later on. I never had a Care Bear, but I admit that my interest was piqued when they introduced the cousins, probably tapped into that same part of my brain that was into Battle Beasts. Now there's a collaboration that I would like to have seen. Big plush Battle Beasts with giant heat-sensitive rub symbols. Hasbro, I know you're watching. This would still work today. Make it happen.
Cut.
Emotions like wood and fire.